Hi folks, this is Gabo reporting from Sopron. It's been a long time since last I was checking in because the last video I made in June and now it's already November, and I can say that this 6 months of my life, it was wow, just wow. A lot of experimentation, a lot of getting to know what I want, and a lot of finding out about myself and what I really want in my life. So how did it start? Well, of course, with the main question, do I want to continue with the army? Because if you saw the previous video, then I was talking about my experience in the army and the army training, the basic training that I've done. It ended in May. So on the last day of May, I was, not the last day of May, but the last day of the training, it was mid-May. I was extremely pissed off, extremely pissed off. I was completely fed up. I was tired. I was thinking that everybody around me is an asshole. I was thinking that, the army is disorganized. It is not good for me. Like, everybody can fuck off. And I was raging. I was raging so much. And on the last day of the basic training, I said, okay, that's it. I am signing the papers immediately that I quit the army and everybody can fuck themselves. I was so pissed off. But something in my mind told me that, okay, it's the last day, just let's go through it and make a decision when I have a clear head, right? So it's just really not a good idea to make a serious decision when I see red, right? Because I might not see things right. Like, okay, it's red, but on another day it can be something else. I took a couple of days to think about what was happening, and yes, I was quite traumatized after the end, or at the end of the training. Yet I decided that, okay, I'm going to stay in the army as a reservist, and in the meanwhile I'm going to travel just to really find out what I want to do in life and to find out whether I want to continue in the army more than a reservist as a contract soldier. Because in the reserve I still have opportunities to serve. The main question was, okay, do I want to do more that the reserve offers, or do I want to just keep at bay, or do I want to quit? But no, after a few days I didn't want to quit. And as the weeks went by, I realized why. Because first, somehow I was really motivated during the training. There was an inside force that pushed me through, even though I was totally unprepared for the training. And what I noticed is that my body got stronger. That was one thing. The second thing was that I saw that the usual triggers that used to piss me off before my army life, they don't bother me anymore. It's just a fart in the wind. I don't care. I don't give a shit. So I became physically and mentally stronger. So that was very, very important for me. Now, and I need to be careful because my my setting is quite unstable. So why did I set it up like this? Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, so I noticed that the army actually made me stronger, physically and mentally. Yet I still didn't feel that I was ready to make the final decision. So I went on travels. First thing to go to, of course, Poland. Why? Because I spent there 10 years and I still had a couple of things that I need to arrange. And I needed to, or I wanted to also check how Poland feels like. I also had a lot of energy inside me, a lot, a lot, a lot. Even if I did a surgery, not I, but I got a surgery done on my belly button because I had a belly button hernia. Even after the recovery, I felt, or during the recovery, I felt that I have a lot of energy and I'm totally ready to go. So I went to Poland and I was checking Krakow. I spent a couple of weeks in Krakow, which was nice. I connected with a lot of people, dozens and dozens of people that I met, old friends, old acquaintances. It was really nice, but yeah, on the other hand, I felt that yes, my being in Poland, or for now, Krakow, my being in Krakow is over. You know, I said no for my relationship to Krakow for a reason. And I already felt that it was final. So Krakow was a no-no for me. I thought, okay, so maybe Poland, you know, like wider Poland, not just Krakow, but other cities. So after a short break here in Sopron, I organized another trip. And this time, the plan was Krakow, Warsaw, possibly Poznań, Gdańsk, Wrocław, and Prague. I know that, you know, Prague is not Poland, but, you know, it's more or less on the way. It's not a big detour just to visit Prague, spend 1 or 2 nights there, and then return home. You know, it's just a 5 hours drive, 5 or 6 hours drive, because I was going by car, and it was really, really nice. Really, really cool. You know, having my own car it's fantastic. You know, I even got I almost said pickpockets, but no, fortunately not pickpockets, but hitchhikers that I was driving from the Polish-Slovakian border to Székesfehérvár. It was really, really cool. And to be my own king, or how do you say this? You know, like to be my own lord, that I can decide, you know, whether I want to go or what time do I want to go. I can plan my things around the freedom of my car. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. Too bad the gas prices went up, you know, just around the time when I got the car. No, that's my luck. Or yeah, even before. Anyway, the point is that I was doing this trip, right? So I started again in Krakow, then I went to Warsaw, and the same thing, that it's nice, it's good, people are good, I can make connections, I can feel good with people, but I didn't want to. I had this feeling that, yeah, again, my time here is over. Then I went to Poznań, nice friend, nice party, really good time there. Something was missing. Then I got invited to a shamanic festival, and I thought that, oh, this is going to be it, because I like shamanism. I used to like festivals. I thought that, okay, I don't like the big music festivals anymore with alcohol and all these things because it's just boring for me. I still like girls. That's something that I miss from Poland also. That's the beautiful Polish women. Oh, yeah, it's just not enough to keep me there. Almost enough, but still not. Okay, so I went to this shamanic festival because I thought that, okay, this is going to be the thing. I also volunteered, so it was going to be a much lower price than they offer. So it was half price. I volunteered, I worked, it was nice, I felt useful. They promised me that I can cut firewood, but yeah, I couldn't. I was on the kitchen. I still ended up cutting some firewood, but not much, unfortunately, because I love doing that shit. So I was over there in the shamanic festival, connecting with people. It was nice. And I thought that, okay, let's try something cool because they had ayahuasca over there. They had a lot of different medicines that normal people would call drugs. Yeah, it's like psychedelic experiences, right? And I signed up for a Temazcal. A Temazcal is a sweat lodge that is supposed to open you up, to give clarity for many, many things. So I decided that I want to do this Temazcal. I did it. I had a lot of clarity. I was one of the first people that got out of the Temazcal because I couldn't bear it. And my big message for myself was get the fuck out. And so I cut the whole trip short. And the next day I moved, or not moved, but I traveled to Krakow. And from Krakow the next day, I traveled home. I cut the whole thing short, so from Gdańsk to home within 2 days. That was the end of the story. I really thought that, okay, it was enough, it was over. So I thought, okay, not Poland anymore. Then what else? Maybe islands. So I traveled to islands. There was this mouse pads here around the house about Malta, and I thought that, okay, there's Malta. I want to go to an island because I had this intuition that I need to go to an island, that there is some sort of awakening waiting for me. That was my intuition. So I booked a 2 weeks trip to Malta. Then, about 1.5 weeks before going to Malta, a friend of mine wrote to me saying that, oh, Gabor, I can't go to Tenerife. Everything is booked apart from the plane tickets. You would have close to free accommodation. There is just a small fee to change the names. Do you want to go? And I was like, what? I have already something booked to Malta, but shit, why the fuck not? It's just 1 week, exactly 1 week before I was about to go to Malta, and it was absolutely doable. Tenerife, then Budapest, then straight to Bratislava, Pozsony, and from there to Malta. So this is what I did, and it was awesome. Tenerife is fucking amazing. I felt that the island is fantastic. I had a really great time there, renting my own car, traveling around the island. I still felt that I'm not really open enough for the island, but I spent time in nature. I spent time with really great people, great holidays. I don't want to live there, but my heart was totally open in the end, and I was almost literally crying. No, I shed a couple of tears actually when I left Tenerife, because it was so good. It was so good. I could have stayed a bit longer. Then Malta came, and after Malta, I also shed a lot of tears, but this time it was tears of joy because Malta is shit, man. It's a fucking terrible place. It's overcrowded. People are irritated. It had some sort of lunatic asylum vibes somehow. Like there are weird. There's a weird vibe, a weird, uncomfortable vibe on the islands. I even went to Malta, to Gozo. I was thinking about going to the third island, to Cremona, to see the Blue Lagoon, but I was like, fuck it. Like, I don't care. I really didn't care. So I didn't go. I pretty much just spent time in my resort that I was booked. I met some good people, fair enough. The sunsets were beautiful. They were amazing. And it was enough from the island. Oh, good food also. I found some really nice restaurants, so I was absolutely happy with those. And that's it. And if I needed to go back there, like, what can you have there? Like dark hookups, something like that. It's really not cool. Malta, what's happening over there in Malta is really not cool, and I don't want to go back there. Maybe one day, but it's really low on my list, if I have a list. Yeah, so after that, I went to Switzerland to get some Tantra. I did another ISTA level 1. And finally, I feel that I have clarity because of Tantra and because of my continuous every month sessions of the Hellinger method of family constellation. Things are now falling into place. What I feel is that it's not really about my plans of going to the army or whatever. I feel that whatever I really want in my heart, it can be done, but it needs to come from the heart. I was pushing so much from ego, from mind, that this needs to happen like that, it needs to happen, and then it needs to happen fast, and like, from the subconscious, from ego, and pushing too hard, too hard, so that even if some flow wants to come into my life, it cannot, if I'm just too strict about it. I also need to have my own boundaries. I also need to know what I want, how I want it, fair enough. But it doesn't need to come from the ego. It needs to come from my deeper feelings that, okay, this is what I want, this is too much, and this is the border, right? This is how I feel is the best for me. And once I go about things like this and prepare accordingly, that this is what I want, and this is how I prepare, and this is how I expand to my new reality. It's to have plans, realistic plans. With the right mindset and the right plans, if my heart is at place, then everything is going to be fine. This is the message that I got, apart from many other things, and a lot of things that I'm not going to talk about. It's too personal. It's not internet material, definitely not spy platforms material. Maybe there are going to be platforms that I'm going to talk about my journey, my process, but not now. Long story short is that this decision period is still ongoing. I wanted to go to the army already, but my foot is hurting. So I took it as a sign that I again was pushing too hard. Now I will spend the rest of the year relaxing, preparing, and my watch is saying that time is over. Okay, so I wrap it up. I'm going to prepare, I'm going to relax, and to be an open, clean slate for my future self, so that my old self, this sort of man-child, is going and the man is coming. So I'm now in between, and I'm definitely making steps towards becoming a man. And if I finish in the military, I end up in the military, I will have the proper rite of passage. This is how I feel. This is something that I started. I already popped open, and this process needs to be finished. It's unfinished at the moment, and it needs to be finished. So that's another thing, rite of passage, becoming a man, coming of age. Yeah, my friends already tell me, like at least one, that I look like a serious man already. I speak like a serious man. So it's time. I'm already acting like a serious man. It's not time that I act like a serious man. I act already like a serious man. It's time to finish the inside process too. So I'm going to have one more video on YouTube just to make 111 videos. This is the 110th. One more to come. Interesting times ahead. So see you again, most probably in January. Ciao, ciao, folks.